And so I was looking at kind of my options. I then contacted Harris's campaign because I thought I should talk to them and see if they're interested in any of these issues, which I suspected they were not, because Kamala then was still an empty slate. Kamala, excuse me, was an empty slate. So,
she's pronounced it both ways herself, so it's okay.
I want to respect people and give them,
yes.
So I reached out to her, and I reached out through a number of people, including some relatives of mine who are very, very close to her personally and to the Democratic Party, and they just said, that's a non-starter. There's no way in the world that she's going to talk to you. And they said, we can get you a meeting with a low-level campaign official. And I said, okay, I'm not interested in that.
Why wouldn't, it's interesting, why wouldn't Kamala Harris meet with you?
Maybe the same reason that she hasn't given an interview. I think it seems to me that there's a lot of handlers involved. And even when you talk to Democrats about, do you really think it's a good idea to be electing somebody who cannot give an interview? They say, well, you're not electing her, you're electing the people around her. You're electing the apparatus. And the apparatus I don't have any faith in. It's an apparatus running that are neocons like Anthony Blinken and who are, running us right up into a World War III. And there are people who masterminded the censorship from inside the White House. That's the apparatus that they want to reelect. And to me, that's an apparatus that has no appeal. These are the people who are censoring me. These are the people who tried to throw me out of the party, who canceled the primaries. That's the apparatus. If it was a Democrat who said, I can think on my own, I understand what this country's supposed to look like, I understand what democracy is supposed to look like, then I think that's great. Let's do that.
But it's strange from her perspective. First of all, electing an apparatus is not how democracy works. That's an oligarchy, just in point of fact. But as a political calculation, your presence in the race running third party hurt Trump. No one disputes that. The polling's really clear on that. So if you're the Harris campaign, kind of a win, right, to get some alignment with you, why, even human curiosity, you'd think would compel her to want to meet with you. Like, take a meeting. Like, why do you care? But she wouldn't even talk to you. I think it's very weird.
It's weird, but I can't stress that not being able to give an interview. Your whole life is in public life. That's what you do. That is the currency.
Right.
I give, this day is a really slow day because I'm doing one interview with you. But on a typical day, I do about 7 or 8 interviews, some days 10 or 12. And I do that every day, and I've done that for 16 months. If anybody who wants to, we have a list now, 4,000 people want to interview me, but I'm interviewing as many people as possible. So I want to get my voice out, my vision out, my concerns out. And it's incomprehensible to me that you would be in public life. And President Trump does the same thing. He's not scared of an interview.
No, he likes it.
Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
He does anybody. He does people who don't agree with him. He's not censoring you.
No.
He's doing, he's talking to reporters who write crappy articles about him all the time. From New York Magazine.
Maggie Haberman at the New York Times.
Maggie Haberman has never written a nice word about Donald Trump, and he talks to her how often?
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. So, my Uncle Teddy, who was exactly opposite of Ronald Reagan, ideologically, and he ran against Carter.
Yeah.
Teddy did, and Carter and he had an antipathy toward each other that was almost, like nothing I'd ever seen. Teddy didn't hate people, but he really, I would say, loathed Carter. He had complete disdain for him, and he liked Reagan, and because I was more ideologically aligned at that point, I'd say to him, why do you like Reagan? And he said, because even though I don't agree with anything he said, he was able to invigorate our country. He was able to inspire people. He got people excited about his vision and proud to be Americans. And that is one of the functions of a president. It's to explain to us why we should be proud of each other and why we're part of a community and why our country is great and what our future is going to look like, and get us and inspire all of us with that vision. And that is what a real leader does. How in the world can you do that if you cannot give an interview to a news organ,
to a friendly news
to a
organization?
friendly news?
Yeah.
They can't even do a setup interview in 40 days. I saw the only interview she did that was unscripted was when she got off a plane. I think it was at Andrews Air Force Base, and so there was a reporter waiting there, and with one question: when are you going to do an interview? And she said, I've told my team that to try to get one done before September. This was the 3rd of August. And I'm doing 7 or 8 interviews a day.
Tells you a lot.
And I'm not, blowing my own horn or anything. I'm just saying that's what you do if you're in public life. And what's the point of being in public life if you don't want to promote your vision? If you don't want to inspire people? Yeah.